Hey there! Just dropping in with another bonus episode of the Unreal Results podcast. Today, I hopped into the Missing Links private Facebook group and did an interview with another LTAP Level 1 alumni, this time a fellow athletic trainer. Jenn, JT the AT is her, what I know her by from Instagram. She owns a business, Concentric Care Wellness, Concentric Care and Wellness in Connecticut. So she's a private practice athletic trainer with a lot of years of experience, and she joined me in the Durham course this past May, as well as did the online course this past spring. So it was such a great opportunity to catch up with her and hear how she's been doing and how she's been integrating it into work. And yeah, it was just a great conversation. I hope you enjoy. Hello to my friend Jenn. Thank you for being here. I'm going to let you do your own little intro just so I don't mess anything up. But I have you in our Facebook group to talk about your experience going through the LTAP Level 1 courses and how you utilize it with your practice. And because today is the first day, just to remind everybody, the doors are open to the fall cohort of the online course. And today is the day to get in and get all the bonuses. So I'm offering a bunch of bonuses for everybody today. And so I'm trying to give you as much information as you all need to like make the decision. So with that, without further ado, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Anna. My name is Jenn, and I am an athletic trainer. That has been my trade for over 20 years. But over the course of that time, I've added yoga, I've added strength and conditioning, and some other fun certifications. And over that time, I've always found that I didn't fit the traditional sports medicine mold. It was too much of like a box, and that was hard for me. And I learned a lot and had great experience, but I always knew that there was more in terms of assessing my patients, working with my patients, just looking at a deeper level. And it's a little challenging, as you know, like in the traditional sports medicine realm, to kind of travel outside of that box. It's not built for being curious. It's like putting out fires. And, it really didn't happen, or the space didn't present itself until going into my own private practice. And I am a naturally curious person, and I love knowledge. And for whatever reason, I began to see some of your content, and, over probably 2 or 3 years, podcasts and just picking up freebies. I'm like, I need to figure out how to make this happen. And so I completed the online earlier this year. And then I was a part of the Durham cohort in May. And I mean, it was everything I expected it to be, which was lovely. And I think what drew me to the LTAP is we focus so much on tools and techniques and treatment strategies, but do we ever hone our assessment skills? And as an athletic trainer, we look musculoskeletal. We go to the source. And then we're like, oh, I've evolved. Now I'm looking at the root cause. So it's not just a knee. We need to look at the hip, and we need to look at the foot. Okay, cool. We're growing. I think that's important, but there's more.
Yeah.
And I know from integrating a systems approach and looking at that person who's in front of me and looking at them from a systems approach, as you put it, the results that you get are more sticky. You can have great tools. You could be a wonderful manual therapist. You could be amazing at your exercise prescription. But there's something to be said when you work with an individual at a higher level. They can do that anywhere. Anyone can do that. and it's pulling in these pieces that are unique, and it's helpful as a business owner, but also as a practitioner. I want to show up for my people. And a lot of people who come my way, they've done the traditional rehab or they've done group fitness, whatever it is. I'm like in that middle, kind of bridging the gap between that rehab piece and, going to the gym on your own. They need a little bit of hand holding and they can do it
Mhm.
anywhere.
Yeah.
The difference is treating from a whole system
Yeah.
approach. Yeah.
I think the stickiness part too that you said is so interesting and so important because you also know those clients, those patients, they already probably feel like they've wasted some of their time.
Yeah.
Or that's maybe some of these manual therapies or some of these exercises are a waste of time. And so you're very cognizant of like, you want to provide a level of service that sticks so that you're not wasting their time. You're not wasting their money. Like they don't have to be in like rehab purgatory. You can get them back on the field. And so, um, I think that's so important, especially when you're like doing private practice stuff.
Absolutely. And the buy-in piece is not as hard as one would think.
Mhm.
Sometimes they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna try to some different like woo-woo stuff. All right. And they're like, Jen, I'm already on board. Do
Yeah.
whatever.
Like, I just want to feel better.
And I just want to feel better. And, for me, it just aligns with my treatment philosophy. It aligns with the yoga piece in me that looks at people from a holistic standpoint. I even use some of the tools that we learned in LTAP in my yoga classes too.
Yeah.
So I use it in assessment, but we use the heck out of a courageous ball in my yoga classes. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like the tools that I've gained both through online and being in person has really been transformative for my
Yeah.
practice. It's really fed my natural curiosity, which I love. But also, my patient population is just like, whatever, that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. They're into
I don't
it.
know how that worked, but I trust you.
Yeah. I mean, and that's so like oftentimes, and this is when it goes back to the results that stick is like our patients aren't dumb. When they start feeling better and immediately and it
Mhm.
stays, they're like, I don't care what you do. Like you make me
Yeah.
feel better. Like you can tell me to like, I don't even know, like,
Go smell this essential oil. I'll
yeah.
be like, okay.
Yeah, okay, whatever you say. And so it's like
Yeah.
they really, yeah, they don't really care what model you're using. They care about the results and they care about how they're feeling. And so it's like, yeah. And to them, it's interesting because a whole organism approach, like looking at the whole body and looking at it as like even from a nervous system approach and just from a whole like threat bucket approach, it makes actually more sense to them than it does to practitioners because they've never actually gone through very many science classes and things that did deduce the body to parts. To them, they've always been one whole piece. And so it's only the doctors, it's only the practitioners that are telling them like it's parts. And so when you give them permission to go back to that like full whole organism, everything matters sort of view, they're like, oh yeah, that actually resonates more in my body. Like that resonates that like, you know, something that happened to me years ago or just the general level of stress would have such an impact on my well-being because they feel it in their body. And then you're giving
Nice.
them that permission to be able to trust what their body's feeling and follow that.
Yeah. Yep. I was actually just about to say you're validating what they already know to be true. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, they don't get that kind of validation
Mm-mm.
typically. I'll get someone who will say, I've been to, they'll list out all the practitioners. Well, there's not really much we can do. I had a referral from the VA. And so we have a local veterans facility, and former PT colleague of mine sent her to me and for red light therapy and what have you, but
Yeah.
but it segued into some other things. And, as a veteran, I was surprised that she hadn't unpacked yet the stuff that
Yeah.
had happened. I don't know, when was Kuwait? like
Oh,
30
a long
years
time ago.
ago. I
Yes,
don't
a
even
long time
know.
ago. I
I
think I
don't
was
remember.
a junior high schooler.
I
So
was
yeah.
gonna say I was in school, I
Yes.
remember, but
Yes.
anyway, she served overseas, and just by going through the work that we were doing and just the LTAP assessment and where it was bringing me up to her, like her pleural dome area and into her
Mhm.
throat. And she had inhaled gas
Yeah.
when she was serving. And, so there's these things that get unpacked. And she's like, I didn't even think about that until we
Yeah.
did this assessment
Mhm.
on what kind of impact this could have had on the pain that I've been experiencing for
For 30 years.
25
Yeah.
years, 30
Exactly.
years. Exactly. So it's wild that you can kind of peel away information that they've just kind of like let go. Like,
Yeah.
it's not important. No one else thought it was important.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah. So important. Clearly, if it's like the first layer that's coming up too, it's like the body is
Oh,
telling
yeah.
you this is important and we've been protecting it for a while and not able to deal with it. And like, how can you help it out?
Right.
That's
Right.
really cool.
It's been a pretty cool process with her
Yeah.
specifically. She's responded really, really well to the LTAP. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like when we like get a result, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Right. It's so fun. Like
It
every
is
patient's
fun.
so much fun again. I
It
love that.
is.
I
It's
love
fun to
that
share
you're
together.
saying that. Hmm.
Mhm.
Speaking of one of the things I wanted to have you talk about, because I do get a lot of questions of it, is you've taken Missy Bunch's like neurology
Yep. Her
mentorship.
mentorship. Yep.
Yeah. And even in the Durham class when we were doing the lab where we treat our person on the second day with the full LTAP, you used a lot of the neurology drills
Yeah.
from Missy as treatments. And so I get a lot of questions from people who are either in her mentorship currently or have taken it in the past and like wondering, number one, how different it is. And then number two, like how you integrate it. And so, obviously I know what I tell people, but I would love to hear your thoughts on how it's different and how you integrate them together for sure.
I mean, I think they support one another. I think they are interwoven in one another. In terms of like the cranial nerves and working with Missy, there's a lot of assessment, yes, but there's a lot of we use this assessment to figure out what treatment strategy we will
Mhm.
use. And when you have an understanding of the nervous system and kind of the trickle down effect, when you get to the LTAP and you're recognizing this visceral somatic connection, like you can use some of the tools that you used in the mentor or learned in the mentorship. I just think of like trigeminal stuff
Mhm.
so much. And I know I've listened to your podcasts, and like trigeminal nerve is like such a high payoff. And we
Mhm.
learn all about it
Mhm.
just in a different lens
Yeah.
from Missy. And I feel like the two strategies really complement one another, but you also
Mhm.
learn tools for your toolbox. Whereas LTAP is, like you say, it's an assessment.
Mhm.
You figure out where to go
Yeah.
and then use the tools that you need. And I
Yeah.
know that was probably, I think it was one of the questions recently. Well, how do you know what tools?
Yeah.
It just
Oh yeah.
depends. It
Mhm.
just
It does.
depends. Like, I'm an athletic trainer. I have certain tools, but I also have other tools from other professional development. A
Yeah.
craniosacral person has different tools.
Mhm.
It's more of a matter of going to the right spot
Yes.
and then weaving in the tools that you
Yeah.
know and feel
Yeah.
comfortable with. And so Missy provided me with a lens of looking at things in a hierarchy, which has been transformative, and provided also tools
Mhm.
that can assist when I get guided towards a body part.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think it's important too in what Missy's tools are, and I think why it is confusing for people because I'm like, this is assessment, those are tools, but because there's assessments within her tools,
Right.
and some of exactly what you said, when we know where to go, then we get to choose whatever tools we use. The tools include further assessments as well as treatment tools, because the further we can assess it, the more we can get specific on what treatment tool to choose, right? Like, and so that's kind of how I always like give the example. And this is why we have like, I'm creating like future levels of the LTAP is because it's like, yeah, I'm narrowing it in, but we can get even narrower by getting even more precise with our treatment. I mean, our assessment, so we can get more precise with our treatment. But it's like, there's no point in getting more precise with your assessment if you don't have the treatment tools to go with it. So it's like, they do come together. And that is both what Missy's mentorship provides, as well as like the Burrell Institute. And I think when people ask me about the difference between Missy's mentorship and then the LTAP is like exactly that, like they're complementary to each other, just like any other tool. Like, this is what I love about the LTAP. You can use any other system in it and it makes that system better. And also very different, because if you look at Missy and like Z Health in the functional neurology world, they base where to start on a very thorough subjective history. And I'm telling you the opposite of like, I don't actually really care what their subjective.
Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions, because I get all the information I need from the objective information the body's giving me, because the body records everything that has ever happened to us our whole life. So it is telling me everything I need to know, just without the story attached to it. And so that's a very different piece of it. And
you have to have a level of trust.
Exactly.
As the way that you like lay out your treatment strategies is, if you don't have trust in what you feel and in your skill set, then you rely on the story and their history a little bit more. But as you trust your hands, and that was one of my biggest takeaways from the in-person, was the reps. You got to keep feeling it. Stop rechecking it. Feel what you feel and say, okay, I felt that. I didn't make it up, and I felt it, and carry on.
Carry on. Don't doubt yourself.
Valuable.
Yes. It really highlights how much we doubt ourselves, which at the end of the day highlights how much pressure we put on ourselves to be the expert and to use our thinking mind. And when we can just get out of our own freaking way, we actually do.
But we're not the expert. We don't know anything. And I tell them, very similar to what you say, is your body is the teacher and the tool. I'm just like, hey, let's work on this. Let's go this way. It's a support system.
I love that. So good. What other things did I want to cover in this?
Talked about Missy. We talked about LTAP.
Well, and you kind of touched on how you did both the online and the in-person. I know you had a couple weeks left of the online when you came to the in-person. So you had most of the information first going in. And and you just said it too, like how important the reps were. I guess
the hands-on.
I mean, you can't.
It's a manual technique, and I think the online is excellent in the sense that it can teach you. If you're an auditory listener, great. And you have to have the discipline to like get your hands on people. I appreciated that. Like, make a list of how many people that you've done, like, LTAP 1 on. Like, that was great. But it's something different than when you're face to face with another human and there's an energetic exchange, and you can actually get a different sensation. For me, I know it's chicken or the egg for people. I liked having a basis of knowledge first. Because I have that weird, like, perfectionist thing of like, I need to know what I'm doing first so I don't look stupid. So I liked it. But I think I listened to a podcast of another alumni. He liked
the afterwards,
learning afterwards. So I think it's a personal thing.
I think it's very personal too. And it does come back to like the type of learner you are and how you like to be in class. Like, I'm like him. Like, I'd rather just dive into the in-person class and like figure it out, and then add in studying after to figure out, to get the details. Some people are more like you and like they want the study materials before the course so that they go in with like a little bit of a base of knowledge of what to expect and like, to know something first. And actually that's kind of like why I also love that. Well, that's part of like why I'm so big on giving lifetime access to the online course, is because one, you get to do it any way you want. I'm not going to put you in a box and say you have to do the online first before you do the in-person, and I'm not going to tell you vice versa. And also, and you can probably attest to this, even though I taught the exact same thing in the in-person course, you probably heard it differently
Mhm.
because you're a
Other
different
bodies in the
person.
room, and
Yeah, the bodies in
you
the room. I say the different things every time I teach.
right,
And so
right.
learning, getting not just like getting the repetitions in your hands from a practical standpoint, but the repetitions of hearing it over and over
Yeah,
again. So important.
I think that's important
Mhm.
is all of the above because it's something you have to do.
Mhm.
It's not just some letters to put after your name. I did this course. Like, no, it actually becomes a part of your practice.
Mhm.
And so I know for me, if I wanted to I don't know, like I wanted to actually live what my core values are, and that's treating a whole person,
Yeah.
like then I have to like put my money where my mouth is and actually do that. And I actually want to call out a quick little point, and if you don't mind, I don't know if it was a
Yeah.
social media post. I couldn't find that on your podcast, but you spoke recently about as practitioners, we mirror or our patients will mirror us. And if
Mhm.
we come to the table as an unhealed
Mhm.
practitioner and we're not confident and we don't think we have any business doing the thing, it's going to show in our results.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that like hit me hard, like in
Yeah.
the very best way. I
Yeah.
wanted to tell everyone, it's like, listen, like we as practitioners need to do the work also for
Mhm.
ourselves.
Mhm.
And our clients and our patients will feel that
Yeah.
when they're in that space with us. So thank
Yeah.
you for that insight
Yeah,
that you
you're
put out. It
welcome.
was a good one.
Yeah, it's one of those things too that it's like I recognized it a lot as I was going through the journey of like after I quit my job and started MovementREV and started this journey on the like learning how to trust what I felt more than what I thought. And also, you know, the grief journey of losing my mom and then losing, you know, other like it was like my mom, my dad, my stepdad, like it was just this like I learned about polyvagal theory around that
Mm,
time. Like it was just this like huge experience that just kept pointing to the fact that the better you took like the whole like airplane thing, like put your own oxygen mask
right,
on first before you put it on someone else. Like
right,
fill your own cup before you fill someone else's cup. And it's like we hear those cliche things and we think, oh, well, that doesn't apply to me. Like I've got so much to do. Like I'll take care of myself later. But
right.
when you start to recognize and learn about the nervous system, really is like what really
Mhm.
hammered it home. Like I started feeling it and seeing it in my results, but then it was like when I learned the neurophysiology basis behind it about co-regulation in the nervous
Yep.
system, I also had this lens of like, oh, everybody's always told me that I'm really good with babies, kids, and
Yeah.
animals. That means that I kind of already have a type of nervous system that is kind of calm and
Right.
resilient, right? And so it's
Yep.
like, oh, interesting. I can recognize when I start to lose that and my
Mhm.
results start to feel a little bit more forced or like more of a struggle. And then I
Yeah.
can take that as a mirror to tell me, like, hey, Anna, it's time to take care of yourself a little
Time
bit.
to take a time out.
Time
Yeah.
to take a time out because your nervous system is getting dysregulated. And so, as the person providing care, it's so important that you have a nervous system that can co regulate with someone. And so, just, yeah, when I learned that neurophysiology, it was just like made so much sense. And it just totally changes the way that I communicated and interacted with the person on the table, like
Yeah.
from the moment they walked in the door. But then also it gave me an appreciation for what the LTAP's really doing and how valuable having an assessment that can listen to the body in front of you and let the body guide where to start because it is essentially meeting the body where it's at. And we
Mhm.
see that you basically see that when you add a prop under somebody when they're struggling with mobility, whether that mobility be from like scoliosis or like just they don't have mobility. Like I can sit down in a deep squat during a yoga class and like thug it out and pretend that I feel okay.
Yeah.
and you see my body start not feeling okay. And then if I
Yeah.
just slide a yoga block under my butt and support
Oh,
me,
so much better.
meet the body where I'm at, it's so much
Yeah.
better. And it totally changes the experience. And
Mhm.
I over the years, I've even seen this with my athletes. Like I'll have them lie on their side and I'll be like, do you want a pillow? And they're like, no, I'm okay.
I don't
Because
need that.
nobody wants to put anybody out. But I just start sliding props underneath them until I
Yes.
see their whole body be like, oh, I need to let their body tell me they're okay before
Yeah.
we proceed. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what the LTAP's doing. When we are directing our treatment in the area the body wants, it's like sliding those props under it. So the body gives us that message of like, oh, okay, now I'm ready for treatment.
Yep. Yep.
And it's just, yeah, it's been such a powerful lens. So I don't know where
I love that.
I say it a lot in different ways in different places. So yes, and then yeah, when I went through my teacher training, when we learned or my yoga teacher training, we learned we had a whole like block about Byron Katie's work and doing the self-inquiry process and like just how we're mirrors to each other. And so I like literally I was like, oh my God, that's right. Literally anything I tell anybody else is exactly what I need to hear. And so I just like walked through the world for like intentionally for like 2, 3, 4 weeks. Just every time I said something to somebody, I'd pause and I'd be like, oh my God,
Message received.
message received, message received. And so it's very interesting. And even too, the Burrell Institute actually talks about that in class. Like sometimes like if I get 3 or 4 patients in a row that come in all with the same general listing or the same LTAP organ or location, I
Oh,
take a
I
step
see where you're
back and I'm
going.
like, that's interesting. If I've got 4 livers in a row, perhaps I need to do something to my liver because they're just a mirror to you. And so it's like, yep,
I
hit
have
your
not
liver.
considered that, and it's happened, you know? Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Message received.
Message received. Yes. So I love that you picked that up from it. And that's something like obviously we touch on it in the LTAP a lot because it's like hard to talk about the nervous system and hard to talk about healing without starting to introduce those concepts. And because since it is a journey of letting go of that ego expert driven mindset to like switching to the patient in front of you is the smartest in the room. Like I tell you all that first day in the in-person class, like whether you realize it or not, you've just signed up for a personal development journey. And it's something that it is the entire, I don't want to say the entire, but like a main cornerstone or theme of my mentorship program that I haven't offered for a couple years, but that's like the main theme of it is like, yeah, taking care of yourself, doing all this work
It's
in
a
your own
certain
body.
point in your career because we're like around the same point in our
Yeah.
careers. I don't know if there's like a turning point where you're just like, okay, I need to stop learning things and start working on this system here. Like, I don't know, but I feel that.
Yeah.
Um, doing your own personal work and appreciating the nervous system. And it's become just kind of second language to me. But then you might talk with other colleagues who are in the more, foundational settings, and they're still talking the language that I used 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not talking about this.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think,
still new.
yeah, it's
still new.
interesting. We'll keep spreading the message.
Yeah, I'm like, that's why we're right. I use the rocket ship emojis all the time. Like, we're changing the game. We're changing the industry. It's only up from here. Like, you're either like going to be with us at the front of it, or you're going to be behind us. But you're going to be there eventually. It's just a matter of how quickly.
Matter of time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
it's always forward marching. There's always more.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're a part of it, and hopefully, like this is the most exciting part of like, when I do the missing link, I get so many people because it's a free course, so everybody loves the free thing, right? Like, so you get so many people, and I just get so excited because I'm like, how crazy! Like 3,000 people raise their hand and are like, yeah, there's something wrong with the industry, or like I know I can get better results, or I know I'm missing something, and I want to see a bigger picture. That just like gets me so fired up, like so hopeful for the future of our industry. But then it's also and maybe this is because I work with elite athletes and I know you have quite a few too. Like there's a difference. Like people are like, what's the difference between like a high school athlete and a professional athlete? I'm like, their drive, their discipline, their determination, and they're taking action. I was like, and that's really what we see during the week is like, I have 3,000 people who were excited. And then you have, 70 that
It
actually go
shrinks.
through the course. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It
Right.
shrinks. And because it's like, we are a very like small group of people who want to constantly do better for ourselves and for our patients.
Right.
Period. Like, and
Right.
it's like, I can try to be nice about it. And I'm like, I hope that's you, whoever is listening to this call, but it's like, it might not be. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Like we
No,
are in
it's just
different
not right
seasons of
for
our
them.
life. Right. I'm
Yeah.
like, but it's like, yeah, no, I'm like, yes, this is my business. So I want people to join the course because it's my business. But more importantly, like I'm here to change the world. Like
Open your minds up.
right,
Yeah.
as corny as that seems. I mean, like, no, I only do
It's
this.
not corny. I'm with you.
Right. Right. Like it's like, no, I want to change the industry. And I
Yeah.
want you to be there with me. But I also just
Mhm.
want people that are like ready to freaking do it.
Yeah. They want to
And
dig in, and there's a
exactly.
certain
And
just
be
connection with the
curious.
message.
Yeah, be curious and have fun and be inspired by every patient and like want to
Yeah.
continue to learn. And so it's just, and whenever I do the in-person courses and the online courses, whenever I get a new group of people in and I meet them, like just like I met you in Durham, even though we talked on the internet, like it was like, man, it's so much cooler when you get to all be together.
I know.
It's just, I love it. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
I
And
know
I
I'm
think
like,
also the community that you meet too. I had a conversation with an athletic trainer. She was doing all kinds of stuff with tactical athletes.
yeah,
And while she hasn't been through LTAP yet, two of her colleagues have. So we
yeah,
like geeked out on that a little bit. And I feel like there should be a secret handshake. So let's work on that.
yeah, we'll work on it. I love that. We'll
That's
figure
awesome.
that out. Yeah, maybe if you come to the mentorship seminar next year, we'll figure that out.
Right. Fantastic.
I love that. So I know that we're like off. It's so hard not to get off topic because there's so many exciting things that this opens the door to that you want to talk about. But what would, if you were to like, for that tactical person like you're talking about, like if they were on the fence about taking the course, like what would you tell them? Like,
oh man, I think, you consider like what are their barriers in place, but it has to be the right time, and you'll know when the time is because it just makes sense. Everything unfolds in the way that it should.
yeah.
And it is a perfect up level to someone who is just relentless in their desire to learn, to support their client and their patient community with the best and the most efficient, because we like to work smarter and not harder. So I think, when a person arrives to that place where they're like, I'm ready for this development, both personally and professionally, it's a no-brainer next step, and you figure out how to make it work, and you do. And it's a high payoff. You look at the different clients that you bring in and your ROI. I haven't crunched numbers to be all businessy and stuff, but like I can tell you, I'm sure with certainty, like I've received already my return through training, just from referrals that I've gotten now. Like, she's different. There's a magic. She does some magic thing. And I was like, cool, I love that.
Yeah. I love that too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you spoke to that because I do love that. And that is, you're not alone. A lot of people tell me that they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting so many more referrals now. And referrals are so good because it's already a vetted person that's going to be the right fit as opposed to bringing in randos.
Yes. Yes. They're already in alignment with your philosophy, which makes that client relationship all that much better. And there's something to be said about that. So
I love that.
Get on board.
Get on board. What are you waiting for?
Exactly.
Is there anything else that you want to share with the crew that you can think of? Any like fun cases or anything? Or I mean, you shared that one about the VA. What's cool?
Yeah, I had another one with her, which was really cool. She's got some layers.
Yeah.
And she had saw me for shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and it's never the shoulder. And I did a lot of stuff with her liver, and her pain moved to the opposite hip.
Yep.
And so I did the LTAP. It brought me to her spleen.
Mm.
Did some work on her spleen, and the hip pain was gone.
Love it.
Right. And in getting her history afterwards, she's getting iron infusions.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting. So I don't know, my brain goes to, okay, the spleen makes red blood cells.
Yeah.
And iron is trying to promote hemoglobin. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I got geeked out on that. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's really cool.
High five to her. And so
Yeah.
she's like, I felt great.
That's interesting too, because we talk about the liver as being the most common things from the liver is right shoulder pain and left hip sciatica. But the left hip sciatica pain is specifically actually from a more of a vascular backup at the portal vein, the relationship between the portal vein and the inferior mesenteric artery. And so, yeah, when you go back to the spleen, because the spleen is, the splenic vein is like, it's also draining in the portal vein too. And it also is a big part of that vascular piece. So like, wow, so interesting. And yeah, going back to her subjective history, like I don't doubt that that's a part of it.
Yeah.
So
geek out moment.
Yeah. So. Total geek out moment. And then those are the moments too that the person's like, whoa, I didn't even tell you I was having, like I didn't even tell you. Wild. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's been a cool experience, Anna. I mean, so those who are thinking about it, it has expanded the knowledge that you get so much from your undergrad and your grad work. Like it's just next level stuff in terms of anatomy. Stuff I just did not get enough of. And I feel like I have a really strong appreciation for the nerves, the nervous system, and just the viscera and how it all plays a part and play off of one another. It's been amazing.
Cool.
I
love it. Well, thank you. I'm going to end our live, but you can hang on our Zoom call and we'll say goodbye personally.
Okay.
But everybody else, if you have questions for me or JT, drop them in the chat. I'll also put her Instagram. Is Instagram the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, that's a great way.
Yeah. I'll put her Instagram in there too. So if you want to ask her questions more one-on-one about the LTAP or her practice or whatever, you can reach out to her. But yeah, so I appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here.